Books, banter, and a bit of chaos. Welcome to Unhinged Bookish Thoughts,
the podcast with unfiltered opinions, hilarious tangents, and way too many TBR editions. If you've ever sent an unhinged voice memo to your book bestie,
you're in the right place. Welcome back to another episode of Unhinged Bookish Thoughts with Liz and Carrie. We're back, baby.
We're back.
Here again.
There's little havoc. Areas.
The little potbelly pig.
Baby. He's like, leave me alone. I'm sleeping.
It's a Tuesday night when we're recording this. Getting hot and heavy on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday.
I was like, yeah, sure. Is it Tuesday?
I was like, is it Tuesday?
Yeah, why not?
We're repping our band tees today.
Mm-hmm. Bad Omens.
Sleep token. I was going to wear my Bad Omens one. But for those of you at home listening, I accidentally purchased a child size. So it would have been like a sports bra. And I just didn't think that was the heat I needed to bring this episode. So
that would have been good, though. Nice little crop top.
Give the viewers what they want. Just a little skin.
Just right there in your face.
Yeah.
A new kind of shelf, you know, just right on your chest. So today we thought that it would be a good idea to tell everyone kind of more about indie authors. One trend that I've been seeing moving into 2026 and like the start of the year is I want to read more indie authors. How do I read more indie authors? Who are they? What do they do? How do I find them? All these different things where people want to put a concentration on supporting indie authors this year. So we thought we would have a nice little episode where you guys can understand a little bit more about it. So starting out, what is an indie author? Carrie, do you know what an indie author is? We're doing a school lesson today.
Didn't know I was being put on the spot like this.
I'm not in class right now. That is not what I'm doing. So typically an indie author is someone who self-publishes their book. So there are indie authors that are hybrid, so they would be part traditional publishing or trad pubbed and self-published. And typically they act essentially as their own company. So they are their own publishers. If you're like me, I am a self-published author. I'm an indie author. I have my own publishing company that I have everything through. It's called Ink of Fate Publishing. And a lot of indie authors do that. They set up their own LLC. They have all of their marketing, ISBNs, everything related to their books is underneath a publishing company that they created so that we can kind of house everything there as a business. We handle literally everything on our own versus trad publishing, they would take on everything. Authors, even when they're trad published, still do a lot of their own marketing. But the biggest difference that people can kind of like think of it as is indie authors, you are fronting the cost when it comes to publishing that book. You're paying for the cover, you're paying for marketing, you're paying for editing, you're paying for everything that goes along with it. Versus trad publishing, they have to foot the cost. So it doesn't cost you anything. They take on the risk versus as an individual, I take on the risk of me publishing. So if it fails, it's all on me.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
None. So Carrie, you've been kind of in the indie author space a lot longer than I have. Can you think of any indie authors, like big name ones, whether they started out indie, went trad? I can think of one that you are a big fan of.
I can think of a lot of ones that started off indie and then were picked up. Like when we were talking about this, like I was thinking like Holly Renee, for instance. She was indie for the longest time, then she got picked up.
Yep.
I was thinking Amber V. Nicole just recently picked up. Penn Cole, we had her on the podcast. I was going to say Cleo. Are they indie still, or were they picked up?
I think she's all indie. Ruby Dixon, however, is also trad. So I think she's one of the hybrid authors. So she does trad, and she also has some of her books that are still indie. So those are, Ivy Ophelia. She started out as indie. She got picked up by trad. And the day that we're recording this is actually the re-release of The Poisoner. So that's amazing. Other names are people like Carissa Broadbent, LJ Andrews. I'm a big fan of Blood Over Brighthaven, which was actually indie published first. So M.L. Wong was actually originally indie published. Andy Weir, Project Hail Mary, he was originally an indie author. Frida McFadden, didn't know that one. I thought that was quite interesting. Matt Dinniman, originally Dungeon Crawler Carl was indie published.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I'm
look
like
at that.
looking at my shelves and like scouring. Yeah, like Chelsea Curto, indie. I think, or is she like hybrid?
I think she might be hybrid. I think
hockey
some
ones are.
I was thinking Marion Moore.
Marion Moore recently picked up.
Because one of her books is indie, or one of her books is now trad, but like they didn't take all of her books. So they took, I think, Bad Boy got trad published.
Like the Bad Boy rule. Yeah.
Emma Hamm, her The Deathless Ones is trad versus Whispers of the Deep, and like all her Darkness So Sweet. Those ones are all indie. Navessa Allen and Bryn Weaver.
Oh.
They all started out as indie authors that got picked up very quickly by trad. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So there are a ton. So you probably are reading more indie authors than you think. H.G. Carlton. A lot of people know
H.M. Wolf.
H.M. Wolf.
Just recently.
Janine O'Reilly. She started out as indie. Now she's trad. And so there's a lot of indie authors that you wouldn't think are indie, but are indie authors. Or they have like started as one. So, there's the space is small but also big at the same time. So you're probably hearing a bunch of names that are actually indie that you're like, oh yeah, like I can find them anywhere. Yeah, but they're indie authors.
And you might not even like realize, because there are so many, there's like a broad spectrum of indie authors too. Like some of them are so successful prior to even being picked up traditionally that you might not have even known, the difference. Because a lot of time for me, I never know the difference, No.
I think L.J. Andrews is a good example of that, because what is the Broken Souls book that came out? So that was, I think, her first trad published book. And that was just last year, 2024, 2025 kind of thing. And then the rest of her books started to get picked up. So her publisher started like slowly, they came to an agreement. So they took those ones on too. Carissa Broadbent is the same way. They picked up like one of hers and they were like, we're going to keep taking them. K.M. Mornova. Another example.
Indie?
Scarlett. Yep, she was indie. Now she's trad. Scarlett St. Clair. You wouldn't think that one. But both those last two were indie, and then they got picked up by Bloom. Raven Kennedy. She was
so
indie.
Many.
Until, I think, 2024 when they picked up Guild. Was with Bloom
Carrie
too.
Lake.
Carrie Lake. See? Tons of them. Like, we could list them off. Like, forever. Especially in the romance genre. We could go on and on because there are more, and there's a lot that are still getting picked up. I mean, it's just kind of what's happening right now. There's a lot of indie authors getting picked up. Like, social media has changed a lot about publishing in general and has like changed publishing as a whole. And so you can start indie and then very quickly get picked up. We will have an author on in the next few weeks that is an example of that.
Yeah. Whirlwind story.
Yeah. So again, you're probably reading more indie authors than you think, but if you want to be more conscious about it, we do have some tips. So with indie authors, this is how the easiest way I look at it is I go on social media and I check. But if you're like, I don't want to have to go on like Instagram or like TikTok or anything, or you're like, I don't know how to like navigate some of these things. If you go to Amazon, or if you're in like Goodreads, and I think those are the two primary like examples that I know of, because those are like, I mainly look at Amazon. If you're on Amazon, if you scroll down on a book and it will say like the publisher details, it will actually tell you who the publisher of the book is. And even like at the top, so it has like the synopsis of the book, and then there's usually like a scroll section in the middle that tells you how many pages it is, and it will also tell you who the publisher is. If it's indie, it doesn't often have anything there. It would say usually one of the big five. So it might say like Penguin or like Bramble, Bloom. It would say that, or like source books in those like sections. or like we'll just say like Red Tower, it would say that there, or it would say it in the product details where it says publisher, it will also say it right there too. So we'll use mine as an example just because it's like easier, because I mean I know mine. If you would go on Amazon and look at mine, or even on Goodreads, if you look at the publisher details, it's going to say Ink of Fate Publishing. Now, that's not going to be recognizable to anybody. Probably going to be an indie authors like LLC, because mine's like a registered business. So if it sounds like not a recognizable one, there's a good chance that it's either like a very, very small like publisher where it's practically indie, or it's actually an indie author. If it's just an indie author that publishes under their name, it will say their name, or like it will say distributed like through Amazon. Because we use Amazon as a drop ship, just as a point of sale kind of place. So they're the printer, they do all their stuff and they ship everything through them. So it makes it a lot easier on us. They are not great, but we do what we have to do. Also, if you're on social media and you're looking at the indie authors like pages, a lot of them won't say anything. So it will say like if you look in their bios, or we usually have a banner and it like talks about ourselves. Typically, it's gonna say who I almost said own, who has them as like their agent, or because they'll have agents listed and they'll also have their publisher listed. I think Amber V. Nicole has hers listed now. I know she has a rep, and I thought she listed her publisher too. I thought like, isn't it Kingston or something like that? Kennington, something like that. So I think usually they have them listed at the top too. So it's easier to find them for me through Amazon. I don't go on Goodreads, but it is on there. It does say like if you go down, it will also say publisher on it, and it will tell you exactly who it's published by.
I don't know, man.
You're like, I just read.
I just fucking
I'll
hop on the old Kindle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You read Kindle Unlimited, which has a lot of indie authors. So majority of those, I would say, have indie. Here, I don't think I've ever paid attention on Kindle what it says.
A lot of the time, like if you're reading indie and, you know, your Kindle can register that, your recommendations will often be indie authors, because it'll be like, you should check out these titles. So that's kind of how it just kind of falls into my lap a lot of the time.
Yeah. Because you're like, I don't know how to find indie authors. And I'm like, you read them all the time because you read on Kindle. But like this one right here, it's the same as, so if you're on Kindle and you're in the Kindle store looking at books, so you're on Kindle Unlimited and you're scrolling and you're like, oh, I can't remember if like this is an indie author or not. Like I just clicked on Mary and Anne's new book. It's called Hunted in the Shadows. So it's book 2 of their Shot in the Dark series. I just clicked on it and it is set up the exact same way as Amazon. So if I scroll down to the product details, it says publisher, and it's called Winged Fables is their company. And so I know that that's going to be an indie author right there. So that's just kind of, it's same on Kindle. You can easily find them on there. Most of us are on Kindle Unlimited because most readers will only give an indie author a chance if they're on Kindle Unlimited. I hate to say that, but that's the reality of the situation, because you're already paying for the subscription. If you don't like it, you don't feel like you're losing out on anything, like you paid for something, then you're not getting anything back. So most of us stay on Kindle Unlimited, even though it's terrible. Like just to be transparent, it's terrible. We don't make like any money. Like you have to, what somebody was doing they were trying to do the comparison of how many pages you have to read for an indie author to pay for a Costco chicken.
Oh my God.
And it's way more. I want you to a Costco chicken is like what? $9.99 or something? I can never remember. It's cheap, right? $10. How many pages do you think you have to read for them to make $10?
7,000.
It's like 2K. It's a lot.
I way overshot.
I mean, I think I usually average, I can't even remember. I don't look at my numbers anymore, but I mean, I only make like $100, $200 on all of Amazon. Like $100 is a good month, but we get paid per page. So when you see indie authors like talking about like making sure you do the read through. So if you're on a Kindle and you're going through the pages, make sure you go through every single one because we get paid. It's like half a penny per page.
Oh my God. Oh my
It's
God.
not a lot. It's like 0.004 or something like that. It's nothing.
It's wild.
It's not anything. And you'll hear a lot of people complaining about Kindle Unlimited. Again, it is where most of the readers are, but it's because it's like the rate changes every single month because it's a pool. There's a lot of stuff going on with AI with Amazon that is not good. That's diminishing the amount of money that we're getting. And then like it's just so bad. Because like Amazon, when you open a book, does it give you the first page? No. It skips the entire front matter and puts you into chapter 1 or the prologue. It does not go from the beginning, and that's where it like my book is technically 666 pages on Kindle Unlimited. That's what like it's registered as. So for me to get the full read-through payment, you have to click through all 666 pages.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's great. It's fantastic.
But this is interesting though, because it's a side that like readers don't understand, and it's why it's so important to help indies as best as you can. You know what I mean? And support. So like when I'm hearing that, well, you know me. A lot of times I like to buy copies before I read it anyway. But like that's a good like lead in to other ways that you can support indies and find them, is like going directly to their website instead of, you know, even buying through like Amazon or something. You can buy directly from them in a lot of ways if they can. So
yeah. Or even indie stores. I am in 3 stores, I think. 2 that I can think of. I don't know if I'm in the local one anymore. I think I might have sold out. One example, Crafty Bookstore in Indiana has a ton of indie authors, and it's all online, so you can actually go buy directly from them. And there's a best way to describe it's like a consignment. So like we have a partnership. We get them books. They have some signed, some not, or however the arrangement is, and then they sell the books. And so it's like this win-win for everybody because they have this cute little store that they're trying to build up, and we got to make this wonderful partnership. And it's a great company, so highly recommend. They have a lot of people there. I have a local indie store that actually just opened a physical store, and so there's they have a ton of indie authors, and so I've only been able to go out to Forced Proximity once so far since I got their physical store, but anytime they go to events prior to them opening, I would like beeline into their like portable. They had like a little, I don't even know, it's like a trailer, right? Like a food truck, but it was like not a food truck. It was like a trailer truck, and it was just full of books. I have a video on my page somewhere that's got it. It was the cutest thing, but their bookstore's adorable.
support your local small businesses. They keep us alive. You
And
know what I mean?
if you don't have one, also go to like bookshop.org? Yes, that sounds right. They are a like indie bookstore supporter. So if you buy from Bookshop, you actually, when you like make your profile, you set up who you want your donation to go to. And so every like purchase, it's like there used to be a feature on Amazon where a portion of everything you bought went to your choice of charity. So Bookshop is just like that. So it is set up where, and I think Libro FM is the same way. So every purchase you make, you can actually make sure proceeds go to your bookstore of choice. So it's like this way they help contribute back to the indie like bookstores community is you make purchases through them. They have like a little pot and they give them the money then.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I didn't know about that.
Yep.
That's really sick.
So if you don't, a lot of people also are trying to get away from Amazon. So if you don't want to buy from Amazon, there are other options out there like Bookshop. So go check them out. But if you're trying to find indie authors, I think most of the indie authors we find is through Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah. In the age of TikTok, literally just search indie authors, fantasy indie authors, romance, and you'll get a slew of. Once you're like in the community and you're starting to engage, it's going to be pushing out, you know?
It gets
and
filtered
interacting
into your
with
algorithm.
content.
Yeah. Make sure you're interacting with that content. Follow creators that focus on indie authors too. That's how you can also get them. Amanda reads books. I adore her. She is a huge indie author supporter. And so the majority of hers, I would say, like 75% of the books that she talks about at like minimum, that's like me being like hesitant on saying more, are all indie authors. She's always reading indie authors. She's like, I'm focusing on that. That's what I like to highlight. And she just has really great taste in books. So definitely check her out.
There you go.
But if you find there's a bunch of content creators that focus on it, again, engage in that and you will get fed indie authors. It's not like we're not hiding. We would love to hide. Would love it. But we can't.
Yeah.
And so we're out there. I think most readers, in my experience, prefer to get recommendations from other readers versus indie authors like pitching them their book. But if you see something that's like kind of interesting, just give it a chance because like you could literally change an indie author's like day, week, month, year, life. I'm not even joking. Like we said at the beginning, with social media, it is literally changing people's lives. And so you could read one book and you're like, hey, I really love this book. And it could like go viral because of it. I mean, Amanda's a good example. She has one video on, I think it's on Bookstagram that last time I looked, it was over 1 million views. And it has my book in it. I always know when she's talking about my book because I see a spike when I was checking my numbers. We see that. Like you'll also see, I love it on Threads though. Like you'll see authors like who talked about my book, like crying because they're like, who talked about my book? I went from having like 50 page reads in a month to having like 50,000. And it's like all because one person was like, hey, I love this book. And then people are like, yeah, let me give that a chance. And it just changed the entire trajectory of everything. It also, like, if you like supporting, like, indie authors, but you also want to, like, keep them motivated, like, I have a folder on my phone of posts and stuff of, like, if I'm feeling, why am I doing this? This is dumb. This is the biggest mistake I have ever made in my entire life, and I regret it, and I wish I could just delete it all and run away. I have a folder for that. And I open it up and I remind myself that there are people out there who love my book and that I need to write it and I need to get it done and all of these things. So you can really like help inspire people, even if you don't feel like you have. Trust me, you have. I have
but
so
with
many,
that being
like,
said,
everything. Yes.
Do
Be
not
nice.
tag. Do not tag anyone in a negative review. Do not fucking do it.
No.
Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Can I just mention horror stories? Because this has happened many a times. There are people out there, and I want to say it's a small fraction of the reading community, that regardless of the review, they send collaborations to authors. So the number of times I have been in a chat or been on Threads or been on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, to see a message from another author saying, what is this? And it is a collaboration request from a reader for a 1-star review.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. I don't even have the balls to collab with. If I don't have like specific permission.
Yeah.
But also do not tag in backhanded compliments. If there's anything insinuating something remotely negative, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yeah. Don't
You
tag
can
anybody.
have that opinion.
Yes. You can post that
tag
opinion.
people.
You don't need to tag anyone.
You don't need to tag it. And you don't need to force feed it towards the author either, please and thank you.
Yes. We've all stumbled across negative reviews. I have. I stumbled across a very mean review about my book.
Yeah.
Naturally, on the internet. And it happened to Gretchen, too. So Gretchen Powell Fox is working on the 3rd book in her trilogy. She's on deadline because she is now a trad published author. Yay, Gretchen! She's on deadline and was just like trying to finish. And she was like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get on social media. and the algorithm fed her a 1-star video
Mm.
of her book. She's like, "I don't even wanna finish this now. I don't even wanna finish it. I'm done."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So we're gonna see them. Unfortunately. We're
Mhm.
gonna stumble across them, but you don't have to, like, force feed it to us. Like,
Right.
you wouldn't like, if you're not gonna say it to my face,
Yeah.
because mind you, we are creators of words. Some of us are not as nice as others.
Yeah.
I will be mean back to your face. So if you're not gonna say it to my face, then don't tag me in it or tag anybody in it. Like, what's the golden rule? Like, just be nice. Can we just do
Yeah.
that?
And again, you can be constructive and you can go to
Mhm.
the review spaces. That's what those are there for, but you
Yes.
don't need to be bringing the author along in that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's
And we could
it's
go on a whole episode
yeah,
about
we
review
could.
spaces because that is
I
a
just
whole other
wanted
thing. But
right. I just
yes,
wanted that
don't tag
okay.
authors in negative
This is how we
reviews.
support indie authors, not
Yes.
tear them
Even
down,
if, like,
you
you
know?
don't like a book. You don't
Mhm.
have to like a book.
No?
And I think, I'm gonna just keep saying Amanda because Amanda and I are mutuals on, like, all platforms, and we talk quite often whenever I'm on social media, honestly. Her and, Danny, and I can't not remember Danny's name right now, it's like a book club something, but they both even they have said, especially recently, even if I don't like a book, and it's by an indie author, I am still going to if it fits a certain thing, and I know other people will love it, I am still going to tell people why they should. And that's how I do it. Like, I might not like every book, but if it's
Mhm.
like people are looking for certain things,
Mhm.
your 1 star could be someone else's 5 star. So just
Correct.
because you didn't like it doesn't mean and I don't like a lot of books, but I still make lots of recommendations.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a big viber.
Mhm.
I'm a big viber, and I know other people are vibers, and just because I
Yeah.
don't vibe with one thing doesn't mean I didn't vibe with another. So, my posting space, my review place is always going to be positive. You are
Yeah.
never going to see me and that's my choice. Whatever you wanna do is fine, but my choice
Mhm.
is to share books that I love, that I want other
Mhm.
people to love, and to give love. Do
Yeah.
that with what you will. But even my
Be
positive
happy.
reviews, I don't always tag authors because again, I
Yeah.
just we're in a different climate now from when I started literally almost 10 years ago.
I was gonna
Over
say
10 years
9
ago.
billion years
12 years
ago.
ago.
When they made Instagram, they found Carrie waiting
Yeah.
there.
When there was dinosaurs and
There was
yeah.
dinosaurs. They just, brushed her off. She was a little fossil in there and
Yeah.
rehydrated her. Now she's here.
Indies it's funny though cuz when I started out I was only in like the realm of indies.
Yeah.
That was, you know,
Mhm.
um actually the first indie author I just told you and Ariel about this. The first indie author I ever interacted with on my page when I first started, she sent me every single one of her books. Um, Deborah Baldwin was her name, who actually just recently passed away, I found out.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's incredible what you can do in this space. I think indie authors and trad published authors, I mean, they're all great, but you could talk to an indie author like they're your best friend a lot of times. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts about this is the connection with indie authors, I think. I think I'm going off on a
No.
tangent, so bring me
No,
back, but
I think you're right. It's, you're not going to have the same interaction with a trad published author that you would. Like, you're not going to be interacting with, like, Sarah J. Maas. Rebecca Yarros is a little bit different. Like, she is quite active online. And so you'll see her popping up every now and then. But, like, Rachel Gillig, she's not on there. Me,
yeah.
if you want to chat, my DMs are almost always open. And when I'm online, I respond. And it's always funny,
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh," like, talking back and forth to me, and they're like I'm like, "Yeah, like, I'll just talk to you. If you wanna, like, chat." Like, somebody,
Mhm.
read my book recently and was, like, tagging me, DM'd me, and I was just, like, talking back. I was like, "Yeah," like, "blah, blah, blah," and I, like, it's fun because, we talked about this on the podcast episode. And she's like, podcast episode? Yeah, it was podcast. And then we did an interview with me, and it's chaotic.
But also, on the other side of that, they don't have to talk to you.
No.
Just so everybody knows, just because they're indie, they don't owe you their time.
And
anyway,
I'm going to put a little caveat to that too. Just because an indie author is posting doesn't mean they're active on social media. And that doesn't make
we
much
can
sense
schedule, baby.
We can schedule everything. My posts are scheduled. I have this entire week. I usually have the week scheduled, and I'm trying to get ahead. And so we don't have to be online. If the algorithm usually likes that we're online, but if we don't want to be online and we want to be we call it our writing cave. If we want to be little gremlins writing stories so that we can collect our readers' tears, we're going to schedule stuff. And we're just going to blast the internet and run away. So if we don't answer you, one, were you mean? Don't be mean. Don't be DMing people mean things. That's weird. Don't do that. But two,
or
we
icky
might not
things.
Or icky things. Ew, yes. Please, for the love of God, people, stop asking indie authors if certain scenes in their books are inspired by real life.
Correct.
Stop it. It's gross.
Same with narrators.
Can you read this? No, stop it. It's gross.
The only people I've ever been icky with is Maddie and Theo, but it's because we have personal relations with each other, and they get my heat that I'm bringing. So Theo and Maddie, we love you.
If their videos pop up, I always write something just filthy in their comments.
Yes,
out of pocket.
And if you guys see our comments, we're allowed.
It's a mutual thing. You should see DMs between all of us. They're usually dirty.
Watch our episodes. You'll understand.
Watch the Hear Me Out Cake episode.
Yes.
You will get the vibe very quickly. So
I miss them.
I know we need to get them back on, or at least just hang out with them one of these days.
Yeah.
Stop being so busy is what I'm telling you, Gary. Stop being so busy. So yes, there are tons of ways that you can support indie authors, especially making posts and talking about it, both on all platforms. So most of us are focused on Instagram and TikTok. But if you're on Facebook and you're in those groups, there's a ton of book groups on. There's I'm in a couple that have 500K in it. So if you're seeing a post and you're hey, I have the perfect book for this, recommend indie authors, because we do see that. I have my author page and I also have my personal. I'm never on Facebook, but if I'm on a book club, book recommendation page, I'm usually on my personal page, and I'll see my friends' books or other authors I know or mine, and I'm just hey, look at that. Look how cool this is.
Yeah.
So, and I know, I can't remember her name right now, but there's one girl that is very active on Facebook, and I'm sorry, I forget your name. I am terrible with names. I'm so sorry. But she has a note on her phone of all the indie authors that she loves and in a list, and she just copies and pastes it. That's the easiest way to do it. Let me think. So the other ones I have are just a couple notes really quick. This was my episode. If you guys were wondering, this is my topic because I'm the one on social media right now. Carrie's not. And so I see the topics that people are talking about. And so I came up with this topic for us. So the next one there are two that have popped up recently on threads that I just wanted to touch on. The first one was, indie authors are just failed to get picked up authors. Your book wasn't good enough. And so no trad publisher wanted you. So you decided to go the self-publishing route.
The audacity.
Carrie, did I fail at querying my book?
No.
I never once queried my book. I have submitted to one agent since I started writing in 2023. It is in the last 3 years, I have submitted to one agent. I had no desire to go trad. There was a lot of us who did not want to go trad.
Yeah. And again, as I said in the earlier in the episode, there are so many big indie authors that you would probably have no idea that they weren't traditionally published because they are so big and successful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not saying that they, like, failed to get trad published at the beginning. And I think
Right.
Penn Cole made a post one day on Threads, and someone was like, again, our rotation of, like, topics is the same, but this was one that, like, hit her, like, pretty hard. There was a lot of topics on, like, a lot of, like, indie authors suck, indie authors are just bad, blah, 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 and she's like, "You failed unless you got picked up by trad." And she's like, "I don't feel like I failed or, like, I'm now successful because I'm trad published." She's like, "It was an
Mhm.
opportunity that felt right for me, and so I took
Mhm.
it. It's not
Yeah.
that I didn't wanna stay indie, it's that this was the best opportunity for me, and so I
Mhm.
went with it. I am not successful or a failure whichever way I decide to publish." And I loved how she worded that because I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, like you can be massively successful on either end. It doesn't
Mm.
matter how you publish. There are authors that have queried for a long time and decided, you know what, I want to have faith in myself and I want to publish my own book. And there are people who don't ever do that. Whatever the route is fine. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
You wouldn't know the difference. So it's
Mhm.
like, when people say that, I'm like,
And
no,
and to that, I'm
no.
like, what do you guys measure as success? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
publishing in and itself, not easy. Now imagine not having a team and you're doing it all yourself.
Yeah.
Everything is 100% on you.
Yeah.
Like, publishing in itself is I can't say that word.
Success. I'll say for you.
Success.
I mean,
Thank
you're
you.
not, if you're going to publish a book in general, you have like
Mhm.
1%.
Yeah.
You don't, if the people who start it don't ever publish. And so if
Yeah.
you did and person was already published, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter how they got there. They're published. The next one, this is almost word for word. And I think I screenshotted this on my phone because of the audacity. Okay.
That's gonna make
All
my
indie
skin crawl.
all indie authors suck. Their books are always bad and poorly edited, and they should never be published. The amount of money I spent on editing could buy a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have bought
But
cars with less money.
again, though, this weird generalization of indie authors
Yeah.
is very weird to me.
It's
Like,
so weird.
this, like, weird feeling of low quality, it's like it's truly baffling. Also,
Mhm.
I will not name names. I'm not here to do anything like this. I'm not here to do anything like this. Do you know how many traditionally published books, low key, have less effort put into them? I'm not saying anything. I'm not
How
starting that.
many
I'm just
I will
saying.
say it. How many trad published books recently in the last, let's just say, year, 2 years, have we heard, especially the second, the third book that have come out in a series, have readers been in an uproar because they have felt like the editing wasn't done properly?
Yeah. Yeah. And truly at that, it's based on the publisher and the
Mhm.
demand. It's
Yeah.
not even like a indie versus trad. It's just
It's
like,
just editors.
like the demand and how they're getting pushed out, that kind of thing.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
again, people, don't blame the authors.
No. Also, I'm gonna this is not something that I have on my list, but I just wanna make this a note, and we may make a post about this too, because I think it's something that has recently come up on Threads. I've only seen it a handful of times. But if you do find a grammar error in a book,
Mhm.
especially if it's an indie book, do not report that error to Amazon. One, most authors, it's going to get sent to like this weird section of our like dashboard within Amazon. However, what it does is it flags that book to Amazon. If you are going through a book and let's say you mark every single time you don't think a word is correct or it needs something fixed here, it's a typo, blah, 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 and you report every single one to Amazon, you are putting that author's entire account at risk. Because what Amazon does is it considers that a low quality book, and it literally shuts down that author's account. They will terminate an author's entire account, making them where they can never publish another book through Amazon by doing that. So if you do find an error in a book and you know it's an indie book, if you find an error in my book, please screenshot it and email me. DM it to me. Don't care. If you find an error, always find a way to get that to the author, not to Amazon. Because Amazon doesn't give a shit. We care. Amazon doesn't. So just adding that little caveat there because it, or like make sure it's like English versus like American English versus like British English. One lady's account was like threatened to be terminated by Amazon because people kept reporting a word that was like a British slang word. And they're like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not how it's spelled. And people kept reporting it. She's like, y'all, stop. Stop. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrifying. So that's just a little sidebar there. I think I'll make a post about that too, but just make sure what I'm saying is Amazon's going to terminate our account at the first opportunity they can. So please don't help them.
And what I'm saying is let's stop pitting traditionally published indie authors against each other. Just read the fucking books or don't.
I have so many like
it.
indie authors turned trad authors that are my friends. And I'm just like, it's a weird like mindset for me to be in. And I'm like Penn Cole. Like we can talk to Penn Cole and I'm like, this is weird. Best-selling author Penn Cole. Emma Hamm has responded to me. What?
Yeah.
Tara DeWitt.
Do you know how cool it is like to be walking in a store and seeing indies to now trad published books and being like, I got to read that as an arc, or you know, I got to know that author when they had like 5,000. It's so fun. It is so much fun.
When Spark was republished, I was just at Walmart and I didn't realize like it was release day, and I saw it on the shelf and I almost started crying in Walmart because I'm like, holy shit, Penn, you're in my Walmart. I was like so excited for her. And it's like, I don't know, you feel like this proud, like, I don't know, I feel like a proud mom kind of thing. Like I am so happy when I see it because like, you know, because you get to see like that journey that they go on. And so you get to like, I think that's what's most fulfilling for a lot of people who want to read indies is like, you get to watch it. You get to watch people like get hyped about the book. You get to like sit there and just like be this like giddy little gremlin with all your little friends talking about it. And it's so much fun to watch. And like also on the other side, you get to listen to the authors freak out because like you're in their inner circle, and it's just so much fun. It's great. I love it. It's a blast.
Instead of saying success, let's say growth. That's what I like. I like seeing authors' growths because everything that they're doing is a success, whether they feel that way or not. Because I'm not doing it. A bitch is not just casually doing that. So
I wish I wasn't doing that. I didn't say that.
So yes, you do. You take it back right now.
No.
Everybody,
no.
Go be nice to Liz.
So this is more of a you question because you have a lot more experience in this than me. So let's talk about the readers who also want to support indie authors by being alpha, beta, or ARC readers. I can tell you how you find them. You see a book, it's probably got art or a quote that you liked. You said, sign me up.
Yep.
That's how you get ARCs.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times if you are like, the biggest thing is interacting with their content because the more you interact, the more they're on your page. And you will see posts of them being like, ARC readers wanted, alpha, beta readers. The biggest thing is like making sure you're taking on the project with the respect that you can handle their deadlines. That's my biggest thing is if you want to be involved with the project because like you're excited about it, do that. But if you're doing it just for the sake of
doing it,
you know, maybe them
saying
shouting
that
you out or something, don't do it. Because you have to be able to give feedback. Make sure that you're going to be able to give feedback that's constructive and kind in a lot of ways because they're allowing you to see their baby a lot of times untouched.
Yeah.
So go into it with constructive criticism and sensitivity. Yeah.
And what the author's asking for too. Because, depending on what stage they're on, like for me, my alpha and my beta readers are very different. My ARC readers, that is my finished book. You're just reading it to catch any final typos before it publishes. And so, but I handle my people very different than, that's also the thing I love about being an indie author is I get to do things however I want. So for me, when I say my ARC readers, that's a final book. Like that is, it is ready to go. I could launch it tomorrow. Other authors are not that way. So we can have a mix of things. But no, especially like beta readers, what is the author wanting? And usually they will tell you. And then like give them that feedback. It can be constructive and like positive. So point out the things that you're loving that they're doing and point out the things that you're like, this isn't clear or like this could like be worded a different way. Like it's kind of confusing here. That way you're helping them better craft their story. So if you don't want to invest in that story, then don't do it. That's the only way I can like say that sounds kind of like mean. I feel like that was kind of
it's
like
the honest
rude.
to God truth. You have to make sure that there's been several times this last year that I signed on to do a project and I had to make the hard decision to step away and it like killed me because I wanted to be a part of it and I really wanted to support that author, but at the end of the day I knew I couldn't give what they needed. And that's you have to admit that to them because they deserve someone that can give exactly what they need. So read the forms, talk to the editor that they're working with. You can always talk to the author once they sign you on to make sure you can deliver. Yeah.
And some authors will have you sign an NDA. And that
I've signed many.
I mean, I usually have my alpha and beta readers sign NDAs. I also, my alphas are very close to me, so I kind of trust them. But anymore, it is a fail-safe for us for multitude of reasons. People's ARCs and betas have books, their manuscripts have been stolen and pirated. And they've also been fed through AI. So if you don't have time to read the book, no matter what it is, please do not take said book and put it through ChatGPT.
And with all the peace and love.
Yes.
It usually is like sometimes the closest people that you don't expect. So no matter, protect yourselves. I've signed many NDAs.
Yeah.
The first time I signed an NDA, it scared the shit out of me because I was like, oh my God. I was like, what am I getting into? But then, you realize the implication. They are giving me their project,
I'm giving you my copyrighted manuscript. And that, like, you're holding my entire future in your hands. Like, think of it that way. And so, if they're going to make you sign it, if you don't feel comfortable with it, like Carrie said, if you don't feel comfortable with it, don't sign it. That was the end of my stuff. Was there anything that you wanted to last touch on about indie authors?
Love you. Love the work that you do. Listen, this really was your episode, and I'm glad that you got to like shine bright and talk because you're the one firsthand that knows like what the readers can do. And
you hear me complaining every day. For the last 3 years.
And I'm along for the ride because I want to support you and I can then know what I need to do as well. But I feel like once you start in this community, you catch on pretty quick where you can find recommendations. Use social media as a tool,
Yeah, your algorithm is for you. Make it work for you. There you
go. And have people get in the group chat. Have people. That's how I a lot of times find it because surprisingly enough, gang, my IG or my TikTok, I mean,
it's not
no
BookTok.
books to be found. I
No.
can't get books on my freaking TikTok.
No, it's so bad because I'll be like, "Hey, have you seen this book? Should we read it?" And you're like, "I have no idea what you're talking
I'm
about."
like, what are you talking about? So
I am
get the
your
group chat.
social media information. So, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to read more indie authors, if you have a certain genre, or if you're looking for a certain book that you want, like, hey, give me an indie author with like forced proximity. I would like there's horror, there's thrillers if you want those too. We have a lot of romance, obviously. That's kind of more the genre we read. But if you have a specific one you're looking for, you can drop it in the comments, comment on Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, wherever we're at, and you're reading us, you're watching us, hearing us,
Reading
listening
us.
with your ear holes, wherever we're at. Go ahead and just make the comment, and we will get you some book recs, because that is what we do. We love indie authors, and we're definitely down to recommend some. So go forth and read all the indie authors, but remember to always read what you want and don't be a dick.